Have you ever sat quietly, closed your eyes, and asked yourself why it feels so difficult to connect with God? Why, despite all the times we pray, go to church, or read scriptures, it still seems like there's this invisible wall between us and the divine? It's a question I've asked myself many times, and honestly, it's a question that keeps coming up for so many of us in today's world. We're constantly searching for a deeper connection, but it can feel like it's just out of reach. But why is that? Why does it seem so hard to really connect with God on a personal level? Maybe it's because life moves at 100 miles per hour. We're always busy, working, scrolling through social media, dealing with the endless responsibilities of daily life. In the rush, it's easy to forget that true connection with God requires more than just a quick prayer before bed or a moment of silence in a busy church service. It takes time, intention, and a deep desire to open our hearts and minds to a relationship that goes beyond just checking off the boxes of our religious duties. Now, don't get me wrong. Going to church, reading scriptures, and praying are all important. They help keep us grounded. But they can sometimes become more about routine than about real connection. It's like meeting someone every day but never truly talking to them, never getting to know them on a deeper level. You might say hi and exchange pleasantries, but you're not truly engaging with them. And that's the trap we can fall into with our spiritual lives. We show up, but we don't always engage. Another reason we struggle with connection is the noise of the world around us. We live in a time where distractions are everywhere. It's hard to focus on anything when our minds are constantly pulled in different directions. The demands of life, the pressure of success, and the constant bombardment of news and social media can make it feel impossible to hear God's voice. How can you hear the still small whisper of God when the world is shouting at you from every corner? But here's the thing. Deep down, we all crave that connection. We want to feel that divine presence in our lives, to know that we're not alone, and to experience the love and peace that come from a genuine relationship with God. It's not that God isn't trying to reach us, it's that we're often too caught up in the noise to listen. Sometimes the first step to feeling connected with God is simply slowing down and quieting our minds long enough to hear His voice. I want to take a second here to just thank you for sticking with me. I know this isn't a simple topic, and it's one that's not always easy to talk about. But the fact that you're still reading means you're genuinely searching for something more, something real and meaningful in your life. That's so powerful. So thank you for allowing me to share this with you. It takes courage to ask these kinds of questions, and you're already one step ahead by just considering them. Now let's talk about another reason we might feel disconnected from God: our own doubts and insecurities. We live in a world that constantly tells us we need to be perfect, that we need to have everything together. But guess what? We don't. We're human and we make mistakes. Sometimes we feel like we're not worthy of God's love, or that we're too far gone to have a meaningful relationship with Him. But the truth is, God doesn't need us to be perfect. He just wants us to come as we are, broken, confused, and unsure, and trust that He can work through all of that. It's when we let go of our own expectations of perfection that we create space for a real, honest relationship with God. And then there's the idea of faith itself. Faith isn't always something that comes easily. It's a muscle that needs to be exercised. Sometimes we don't feel that connection because we're not fully trusting or opening ourselves up. It's easy to rely on what we can see and touch, to get caught up in the physical world around us. But real faith requires us to trust in what we cannot see, to believe that there's something bigger at work, even when we don't fully understand it. One thing I've learned is that spiritual connection isn't always about big dramatic moments. It's not always about feeling a rush of emotions or hearing a loud voice. Sometimes it's about the quiet moments, the ones where you just sit and feel that deep sense of peace or comfort. It's in the small moments of gratitude, of noticing the beauty around you, or of helping someone else. God's presence isn't always loud or flashy, but it's always there. We just have to open our hearts to see it. And here's another thought. Maybe, just maybe, we don't always have to be in control. Part of the struggle with connecting to God comes from our desire to have everything figured out. We want answers, we want certainty, and we want things to happen on our timeline. But God doesn't work on our timeline. Have you ever sat quietly,